So, Professor, I enjoyed your lecture. I'm not an English teacher, I'm still a student, but I study languages. What you said, I think, greatly benefited me as I'm studying English. But I have a question related to Chinese. You said you took beginning Mandarin.
Yeah.
How does this idea of, sorry, I'm drawing a blank with your theory that, yeah. How does this comprehensiveness of reading and listening apply to a language where there are tones and other complicating factors that might make it...
Let alone learning the kanji. Let's talk about tones and kanji. Okay. Tones are late acquired. Late acquired. There's an order of acquisition. So you can practice them all you want and you're not going to get them until later. And people will say, "Oh, be careful with the tones, because you might be saying mother instead of marijuana." You know, mom. You know, it's rare that you get in trouble. I mean, I speak Mandarin without any tones. I have no idea what I'm getting right or wrong. Sometimes I get it right. It's late acquired. Don't worry. In terms of writing, in Mandarin, we do recommend Indian right from the start. I'm trying to do a book in Mandarin for a storybook with my former teacher, and we're children's books. No, it's for demented adults. I wanted to do the Adventures of Captain Pigu, like Adventures of Captain Pigu means butt.
Okay.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. But we're trying to do something, and we do it in Indian with a few characters.
Okay.
And you want to make the story totally comprehensible for beginners and make it interesting. Really, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Really interesting. That's hard. So we started it. It took me a year. It takes place. I'll tell you the story. It takes place in Beijing. This girl, young lady, comes to Beijing from Korea. Her name is Minji. So you have a picture of Minji in Korea. Okay. Then there's Harry from the United States. And you have Harry, United States, okay? And then they come in an airplane. Beijing, you know. Then they land at the airport in Beijing. And Minji sees Harry. Minji, kan, Harry. Harry, kan, Minji. Harry thinks, how come? She's good looking. How come? Then you have them looking at each other. Okay? You have chapter 1.
And so
chapter 2.
So it's right, pictures.
Yeah, pictures.
To introduce the opinion and maybe some characters at the beginning too.
I'd like the book to have at least 5 or 10 characters.
Okay.
The important one is character for boy and girl. So when you go to the bathroom, it's the same in Japanese. You know which one it is. Second chapter, they're in Chinese class. They're in the same class. They both came to learn Chinese. Yeah. And Harry sees Minji. How come? Oh. Minji says, Harry, how come? Then the teacher asks them their names. And Harry says his name. And Minji isn't paying attention, she's looking at Harry. So it goes on from there. They finally meet. You know, a lot of teacher talk. It's hard. But the opinion is going to help. And we were dealing with Americans doing Chinese, so we're going to take advantage of the Roman script. Maybe we have a small grammar thing with explanations in English optional. It just means this. Okay?
You see that type of thinking in Dora the Explorer, which I think is a magnificent series they have, where Dora speaks mostly in English, and then she does a lot of repeating, a lot of call-outs. It's almost like it's almost like interactive reading. I mean, but the actual it doesn't require a teacher, right? So there's a lot of call-outs, a lot of repeats, a lot of saying something in English and then repeating it in Spanish. Can you say this? Say it with me, and it's a brilliant way of. My daughter picked up Spanish words from either watching the show or me reading the books with her when she was very young, and even now, she'll still remember them. It's fascinating. She's 10 now.
Young Teletubbies, But annoying orange.
She loves annoying orange.
Oh my God, is that brilliant?
It is really good.
SpongeBob was my favorite.
Have you seen it?
Annoying Orange.
Annoying Orange. It's a YouTube. I'm on YouTube as well. We make a lot of children's videos for learning and stuff. And yeah, Annoying Orange is like one of the top 5 or 10 YouTube channels.
My grandson, who's 9.5, he sends me the latest. He's on an email. So I hear it in Japan. He says, "Here's the latest. You gotta watch it. This is great."
I love the wasabi one. Wasabi. Yeah, wasabi. What's your name? Is Paprika. Paprika. It's so funny. You have to see it. Basically, an orange who's really annoying.
I do know this. I do know this.
Have you ever
I do
seen
know this.
the
Because it's so insane, kids love it, and it's just all natural.
Well, you remember Jim Carrey in the movie Dumb and Dumber, where they're driving. Me too. They're driving down the road, right? And he says, "You want to hear the most annoying sound in the whole world?" I'm like, sure. And he just starts screeching this. That's what the Annoying Orange is, right? It's just it's a 1 minute or 2 minute show of.
See the annoying competition between him and Fred. No, they were in a ring. And they were just annoying each other.
I have to. I'll watch it at my hotel tonight. That's awesome. It's really good.
It's Annoying Orange.
The development of ideas that come out naturally from people who love language is really, really wonderful. And
I love Annoying Orange. I think it's
yeah, you pass. You love Annoying? Yeah.
It's good. There's another guy called the Mystery Guitar Man. Has somebody seen him? No. Mystery Guitar Man is my favorite. Currently, he's my favorite YouTube sensation. Do you know him or no?
I will.
Okay.
I will. In fact, everyone will.
Mystery Guitar Man does some of the most amazing things with music and video that I've ever seen, ever. I mean, I'm talking, this is one guy sitting down in front of his computer. He's got a lot of he's an amazing musical talent. He plays every instrument out there. But the way he assembles it, and he splices everything together and times it up with, I can't explain it. You have to watch it.
To teach guitar?
No. I mean, it's... Okay, there's
Garrett plays a mean guitar.
one of my favorite things that he's done is he took a little chord keyboard, and you know that he played one of the old symphonies or something. I don't remember exactly what it was. And he filmed himself in front of a green screen, jumping up and down in different ways. And then he superimposed himself. He played the piece on the keyboard. Took his hands out, so it just looked like the keys were moving up and down by themselves. Then all those little pieces of him, he was jumping up and down on the keys each time that note was played. Right? And then when he was done, he comes up and he picks up the keyboard, and every single character he had previously recorded is falling down in different ways, and there's all these screams. It's the most amazing thing you'll ever see.
What's the title on
Mystery Guitar Man.
Mystery Guitar Man?
Mystery Guitar. I think he's got to be a top 5 on YouTube as well. He gets a video up for an hour and it's got 500,000 views. It's absolutely amazing, and his musical talent is fantastic. He's very, very talented. Very talented.
I went through a crazy frog.
What?
Crazy frog.
Crazy frog. I haven't seen that.
Crazy frog survivor.
And all of this is without paying any money. All of this is all free.
The
All
Annoying
this-
Orange knows what he's doing, bingo. That he now has a TV show. And there's Annoying Orange stuff you can buy in stores.
Well, good for him, right?
Good for him.
Well, I'm a partner for YouTube, so we make a little bit of money as well from YouTube from making the educational videos. And I have a good friend of mine who also makes children materials, and he makes about $2 million a year right now just from YouTube.
That's all.
Wow. Is that based off of views or subscribers, or how does it work?
It's when you go onto YouTube now and they have little commercials and ads there, they get money for that. And when you have a single video which has 200 million views, you make a lot of money.
Do you know about how
These
much money
guys-
would you get for?
Yeah, I mean, I know guys who are making, or not just guys, but different people are making different amounts of money. We're not making too much, but I could probably come close to living on it. Like, if I were single and stuff like that.
How many views do you?
We have 10 million views total.
Oh.
What's your channel?
Omigrad, Omigrad.
For
But it's if you search ELF Learning, ELF Learning, you'll find the videos. We've got about 90 educational videos. Our children's school, we don't want to spend class time teaching really anything. So if they can acquire, right, They can acquire vocabulary and other things outside in a fun way by watching videos, and it's usually within context. We usually do a single vocabulary one, and then the words are placed into context, and it's done to a beat and a rhythm where the kids can chant with it and stuff. So in the classroom, during class time, we just sit down and talk. We talk about the cards, we talk about stories, things come up.
Eric, what's the name of your school?
The school is E-English House, but the company is Elf Learning, and it's just, a lot of what we do, like I said when I asked you the question about phonics, the only thing we specifically teach is phonics. It's not about intonation, it's about actually the ability to hear the sounds, which children have a very difficult time at the age of 5, 6, 7 years old.
Beginning, yeah.
Yep, and so the only reason we do is to give them those sounds, and then we show them our mouth, we're saying the words, we show them very clearly so they're able to reproduce the sounds, and that's basically the extent of it.
My prediction is that you're doing just the basics.
Yeah, and that's essentially what it is. Yeah, essentially what it is.
It's funny what you said about correction and how that can negatively affect language acquisition. Or overcorrection, or maybe...
Well, I'll say this, is it doesn't help.
Okay.
And it can inhibit you. This woman I met this woman in Hungary. She was 86 when I met her. The world's greatest polyglot at the time, She acquired 17 languages. She was really good. I asked her about correction. She said, correction can make you sick to your stomach. She told me the story, you heard these days, about how she was corrected once in a conference. She was translating into English. She has her PhD in chemistry. And instead of saying inorganic, she slipped and said unorganic. She said, my chief rival haughtily corrected me and was lost for the rest of the day. This is the world champion. We all have moments where we've been corrected and we didn't like it.
It puts, is it the effective filter? Just shoot
sky high.
I had a Chinese girlfriend when I was back in the States we did for about 5 months. And she does fluent English, and I was hoping to practice some Chinese with her, but she was so nitpicky with my pinyin and my tones that I had no confidence, and it got to a point where I did not want to talk to
The
her.
number 14, you use the number 2.
Exactly. And it destroyed it. Destroyed it. But is there a way to, so without correction, will you naturally get it, or how does it move through?
More important, you gradually absorb it. You can't open it.
Is that's through mimicking what you hear from people?
Listening and relaxing. We are born to acquire language.
Can you help us find a school in China where we can go on our vacations to learn Chinese, comprehensible input? I want to go. I want to send my daughter.
Linda Lee is good.
She's my partner.
Who is this?
The TPRS Chinese teacher.
What's her name again?
Linda Lee. At the moment, she's in Saudi Arabia. But I'm going to go on her website and look at pictures of her baby boy.
I'm friends with her on Facebook, and so I get all the updates.
Well, here's the thing about Jesse's. Last year, Linda Lee and her husband came to this conference. Doug, okay? And Jesse was maybe 2 months old. So I told him to take some time off and I'll play with the boy for a while. So I'm a grandpa, I know how to do this. So I had my iPad. And I got him on the Uzi one where you make a little diary. He was using the iPad.
iPad is
It's cocaine for kids.
absolutely amazing tool.
Yeah, and he was watching me play Angry Birds. And I want to see him. I may see him again next month. He'll be in Colorado.
What are some of
So you
the
know Linda, you know?
I went to a conference and I took her Chinese class.
I'll tell her that you're good.
Right. I was in the San Antonio conference.
The thing about her, let me take off on Linda Lee. Different teachers have different styles. And someone like Jason Fretz is dynamic. Linda's quiet, easygoing, calm. She's a very gentle, mildly teasing way with the students. And it works so well because she's her. Blaine Ray goes out and does a very different thing and it works for him. It's really interesting.
I was one of his example students at the conference. And so there was 40 people watching him teach me Spanish. And it was incredibly stressful, but I still, remember that as a good experience.
Yeah, quite amazing. It's amazing.
With the focus on the subconscious, as I think a lot of the sort of books these days are focusing on the importance of subconscious, do you think there's a way that you can teach skills that affect subconscious. Like you limit vocabulary and you work on repetition so much that it goes to the subconscious. You're not really training the conscious.
Doubt it, but I don't know why anyone would want to do it because it's
Could be
so
a
dull.
faster way.
Nothing is. So what I'd like to do first, before we try to jack it up, is do the pure form and see how good we can make it. No one's really done it all the way. We've got this here, this there. What if you devised a class that had like TPRS stuff with tons of easy reading, tons of videos that are totally comprehensible, rather than take a risk and try to capitalize it and push it. Let's try the pure form.
I think setting up something like that, you know, where you set up an environment where you take basically, okay, you've tried this for many, many years, and you switch it, just everything you can think of, the communicative approach, the TPR methods, any type of thing, any way of, I do a lot of interactive reading in my classroom with young learners, where we're always asking for feedback, always questioning, always checking comprehension, all these different things. And the rate at which they learn is, well, it's amazing. You know, but you have to bust your butt as a teacher. It's not easy. It's not easy. Yeah. I did it with adults as well, with storybooks, and you know, I'd be reading along. I'll say, "What's the next word?" And they're trying to figure out from the phrase using prediction skills. Or they're figure out what they're not thinking of it. They're just going to get and they pull it out and say, "Well, that could be it," or "What else could it be?" You know, and they go, "That one could be." Well, the actual word is this. Let's keep reading, and I'll go back and I'll read it again. It takes a tremendous. The problem with I think a lot of these approaches and methods is it takes an incredible amount of time to get to that level where I think you're able to do it. You talked about very dynamic teachers, maybe quieter teachers, but developing the skill sets available to actually be able to pull this stuff off. Most people I think most teachers have a difficult time doing it. It's much easier to put down a skill-based workbook or teach structure. It's an easier thing to do, despite the fact that it takes a long time to learn yourself. It's easier at the end of the day. But actually, yeah. So anyways, I just think it takes a lot of time.
I'm not saying the current model, I agree, is broken. My idea is if you did focus on a small amount of grammar, and you did, adults will do this. They'll sit down and they'll pound it into their head.
Some will.
Yeah.
And you grade it so that there's achievement levels because people like to get the levels. I know this is everything you hate. I do. But at the same time, I'm teaching adults who will not sit down for 5 hours a day and study English. They can't.
Reading habit, that's it. Lots of easy reading.
I think the other thing too is I think we're forgetting technology. I mean, you talked about the CD, driving on the highway and listening to a CD. You're talking about YouTube. You're talking about iPads. A lot of these repetitive things can be accomplished through technology. So you don't actually, you're talking about acquiring it subconsciously. Well, if you're just basically using your receptive skills, whether it be reading through your eyes or listening through your ears, or both, you're mixing the two. As technology becomes more advanced, and especially as it becomes more interactive, you're going to be able to achieve a lot of these things without the actual instruction in the classroom. They're going to be able to subconsciously acquire a lot of these abilities.
If they get interesting stories.
Yeah, exactly. The content has to be relevant and
You
interesting.
get natural repetition. Here's another thing about your grammar thing. If you succeed in doing it, all you're really doing is changing the natural.
Maybe not.
Right. And what I'm hoping is that work helps them to
I don't know, please. I know, Krashen Sensei, my student to come at school, Japanese. She's been my student for about a year. She
Probably help you.
came because I asked everyone to come. She's the one who said yeah.
Very good.
We're going to make a great work for you. Look it up on Amazon.
Anyway,
Teach like a champion.
teach them champion.
Let's say late acquired, starts practicing earlier.
Tells you things to do in the classroom. Very practical.
We have more time to get back. It sounds like you're worried.
The earlier teachers that are acquired make the other ones more comprehensive.
Brooke,
So you're playing with mother nature.
But you can do that in order.
Nobody knows the story.
Right. Explain what can you say that they're not
Do you know that there's enough evidence?
Just getting,
So we don't know every single
great
structure.
So we can say that, for example, the passive aggressive won't come before you kind of have to do it first. But for
at least another half an hour.
So, no, I don't have.
if they practice these basic things And there's some research too that children learn a very core bit and they build off that core. And what I would try to do is build a core bit within these students when they read, when they watch these things. Then there's something to latch onto.
You don't rather make the input more comprehensive. It's hard at the beginning. So they're shooting up this story right away. And they're not aware they're not hard
Right. From what point, if you don't know any of the words, how is that?
That's why it's very simple.
Or even a glass of water. Jude, glass of water.
That's the challenge of language teaching.
Water?
Have you read, there's a book that came out about 3 or 4 years ago, I think, called Teach Like a Champion. Familiar with it? It was, it's basically over observation interviews over the past 25 years. What they've done is taken teaching techniques, things that work in the classroom, things that actually help students. Very practical based. The first rule is no opt-out. Never allow students to, kind of, like if you ask somebody a question, for just a general teaching strategy, what's the capital of Michigan? I don't know. What's the capital of Michigan? Lansing. What's the capital of Michigan? Lansing. And just never, always going back to the student who may be unmotivated, disinterested, or something like that. Never judging anybody, but being very positive with it, and just never letting them fall through the cracks. And it's just a series of practical, what do great teachers, the question was, what do great teachers do? What do great teachers do? And they come up with all these different categories. And you see what you see when you look at all of these things. Is essentially, it's nothing more than just being able to deliver what's in here to those students, and help them.
What Stephen Krashen is challenging us to do is to make a pure a method as we can, and let's see how far we can go with it. That's what he's challenging us to do. So let's keep working on it. We'll put together the ideas. Eric Kane is a new friend, and then we'll ask Stephen what he thinks and get some feedback, and ask Benny. See, and ask Benny-san and ask her husband, and we'll.
It does work. I mean, I can tell you right now, in my school, with 1 day a week lessons,
you're working with kids, and we're both working with adults.
Sure.
We work together.
But the same things can apply, right? The same techniques. I may jump around and use a little bit more music.
So let's interact.
Guys,
Let's keep in touch.
Right, that type of thing. But it does work. It will work, and I've seen it work with the limited amount of resources and time that we're able to actually invest. They say that the 10,000 hours rule.
It just changes us to be here. To come, it encourages people to get together and talk and interact, and it's beautiful. Thank you.
I think we need to end this.
Yeah.
He's very tired, and oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I
I've
am.
been awake since 10 o'clock this morning.
I know.
All right. Did you get enough coffee?
Only had a 2-hour nap, too.
Did you get enough coffee today?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I hate to break it up, but I hope
No,
it
it's
was
good.
a good
Really
talk.
good.
And,
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Is it okay?
Ask a core question.
No, I appreciate your answer. I appreciate you putting up with me getting excited about it.
It was wonderful. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. No, it doesn't matter. I don't mind.
I'm going to put this on YouTube, okay?
On your YouTube?
Yes.
Good.
Okay. Any last message for YouTube Krashen fans?
Oh, my. Yes, I do have some advice that I'd like to pass on.
Okay.
If you're in the market, stay in the market. If you're not in the market, don't go in the market. Never eat at a restaurant that says good food, and never play cards with a man named Pops.
Woohoo!